Cody here with another video for you guys today, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler review for Power Rangers Once and Always. I'm doing it as a spoiler because there's so much to talk about, and I don't want to go into any deep dives or secondary videos. I want to get it all out in the open, so if you guys have not watched this special yet, don't watch this video. That's all I can say. I warned you. Spoilers. So, Power Rangers Once and Always is a 30th anniversary special that brings the original team back together. I know a lot of people are upset because, you know, some unfortunate things have happened since the announcement of this, as well as, you know, of course, there being some cast disputes with, you know, how they just do not want to be involved with it. So we don't have Amy Jo Johnson. And, of course, because of Jason David Frank's passing, Tommy is not in it. However, I do appreciate this really nice detail that they did ADR from old, you know, I guess old sound clips from the show. So you do hear Twee Train, and you do hear Jason David Frank and his favorite, or his famous, you know, I guess Kata yells, "Hiya!" You know, the sounds that he makes, and then of course you can hear a little bit of Amy Jo. But what amazes me the most is that it works so well because, of course, they're not going to have, you know, Tommy and, you know, Kimberly and, you know, Trini, of course, in this, and, you know, having that little bit of detail put into it really adds something to it, like they were there. So it's nice to know that they paid homage to those characters as well as the actors. So we got to hear that while the opening of the show, or the special, was playing a new rendition of Go Go Power Rangers by none other than Ron Wasserman, who did the original theme song. So that was a great thing. Just seeing them run towards the screen, the logo pops up, and the explosion in the background, that was just beautiful. I absolutely love the opening. Of course, while the hype was real and that was going on, within 3 minutes of this all happening, tragedy does end up striking, and Rita Repulsa, or Robot Rita, who we apparently have no established connection as to why she's here, and, you know, just kind of a little bit of banter between her and Billy. She decides to throw some sort of a killing blow towards Billy, and Trini takes that blow and ends up dying. That was, it's still pretty shocking to know that Power Rangers has officially killed off one of its original characters, and it's not really meant to be shocking, I guess. It's just, you know, we know that Twee Train is no longer with us. For those of you guys on the outside who don't know this, Twee Train, who played Trini Kwan, the original Yellow Ranger, died in 2001 in a car accident, and, you know, we've had no, I guess, connection to the character since then. You know, she's never been referenced or brought up again in any instance of continuity. We've had her in the new 2017 movie, her character, but, yeah, the concept of them continuing a character after so long after she passed away, which has been almost 22 years, we just don't, we just assume that Trini's just moved on. Her character is living a good life and stuff, has kids, and is living a normal life. And this, she has those things, but she takes the ultimate sacrifice, and we watch that happen, and it's just so, it's done so tastefully. I'm so grateful that it's done the way it is. She is honored through her character, that's for sure. Right afterwards, Billy and Zach actually go to Trini's house, and you are hearing them discuss how they're going to tell Min, who is the daughter of Trini, and she ends up overhearing them talking about how her mother died, and she just kind of runs off, and it just, again, flash forwards a year later. Zach is her guardian, which I think is amazing because, of course, it's nice seeing Walter Jones returning as Zach Taylor, and of course David Yost as Billy Cranston. We have not seen them since the original show. You know, well, Billy for Zio, but Walter has not been back to play Zach since he left in 1994. So I gotta say, it's really just surreal watching them come back. And, Walter was like, Zach, his character is, being the father figure to Trini's daughter was just a great touch as well. Of course, she is very aware of them being Power Rangers because they let her know the whole story. And she wants to follow in her mother's footsteps by being the new Yellow Ranger. And obviously this is the mentor over the younger-minded one. That's not how it works. It's too dangerous. The conversation just kind of ends right there. And they go to pay their respects to Trini at the cemetery, and they are met with Rita and her cronies. Of course, we have two big monsters from the past coming back. We have Snizzard and the Minotaur, and they are the two main side cronies, I guess. There is no Goldar, there is no Lord Zed, there's none of that stuff. This is just Robot Rita, her putties, the Minotaur, and Snizzard, which, keeping it small, they are still very formidable. They are now robots, they aren't just monsters made of clay. They actually have robot accessories, so they are, armored up with some, robot metal and stuff like that. So they look pretty badass. I think they look pretty cool for, their characters and stuff like that. But of course, there is some really interesting, I guess, for some reason, I don't understand why they did this, but in the grave, there is a character that's just kind of completely random, which is, do you guys remember the episode when the Rangers had to do like this talk show, and the host was talking to them about being Power Rangers and stuff like that? There was this whole, it was called Lights, Camera, Action, I guess. He died. That talk show host is dead because it's in continuity right now. That character is gone. It is definitely a really weird, little, nudge to the past a little bit, I guess, for one of the episodes I don't feel like a lot of people really cared about. I don't know. But that was really odd seeing that character's gravestone. All right, then. All right. So yeah, they were in the cemetery, and Robot Rita and her minions end up attacking them, and we see the Rad Bug, which is really cool. Rad Bug 2 looks very sleek. Min, Billy, and Zach end up escaping in the Rad Bug while the other Rangers are captured, and Rita's plan is to suck away all of the morphing energy so she can create some kind of a time portal so she can go to the past and communicate with her older self and give her all the intel so that way she can kill the Rangers before they end up becoming Rangers or recruited by Zordon to become these teenagers with attitude. So yeah, this is already starting to be a thing. Of course, Min is very resentful towards Billy because Billy, she's straight up, there's some harsh words thrown from Min to Billy, saying that he's responsible for her mother's death. And it's kind of really just a lot of adult dialogue, for Power Rangers. It's not really aimed towards adults, but adults kind of took it back based on the fact that we grew up with the original show. It's kind of like Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was meant to be aimed towards children when the cartoon came out. Yes, the original comic books were a little bit more, I guess, risque and dark, but let's be honest, Ninja Turtles didn't really pick up until the cartoon, and children ended up dominating that franchise. But over time, of course, adults that grew up with it ended up becoming a lot more familiar with it, and it just became a mixed demographic. It's aimed towards children, but also aimed towards adults. That's what Power Rangers is. And I feel like this is a adult-oriented special, because, I actually told this to my cousin. He was talking about, I was like, this isn't meant for anyone who's just casually scrolling through Netflix and is just like, oh, Power Rangers, I haven't seen this in forever, and watching this and just being thrown off completely by it. It's meant for us hardcore fans. I really do believe that we are, as a group of people who loved Power Rangers for the past 30 years, are the reason why this special even exists. So I'm just saying, right off the bat, if you guys are just casually scrolling through and watching this, yeah, you're going to be confused. But to continue on with the review of the whole thing, so there is a plan set forth. Of course, they are putting together some scheme to, I guess, defeat Rita while Min is going off in her little revenge side story. She ends up grabbing the Morpher that I guess was put into a box in Trini's home and tries to morph with it, and it fails miserably. And they catch her at the juice bar. That's something else I need to mention. Oh, man, I am so upset that we got one little, nod at Bulk and Skull, but Paul Schreier and Jason Narvey did not return to play these characters. It is kind of sad. I am a little upset that ended up happening. It was just a little, banner. They own a sandwich shop. I would have loved for Bulk and Skull to be the new proprietor owners of Ernie's Juice Bar. It would have made sense, but they were not, and that's sad. But, of course, anyway, continue on. Min is actually trying to fight off putty patrollers in Ernie's Juice Bar, and of course, they recruit other Rangers in this. We have Kat and Rocky returning, played by Steve Cardenas and Catherine Sutherland, and Rocky and Zach end up going to the Juice Bar, and Zach and your hip-hop keto, he ended up breakdance fighting with the putty patrollers, and that was pretty cool. I love the fight choreography in this, by the way. It is done very well. I think it's really well done. It's very interesting to see how they kind of evolve the fighting styles of some of these Rangers as well, which is something else I need to bring up when it comes to Min. She had taken on the Mantis fighting style that Trini ended up learning, I think, in season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. There was a Mantis style. I don't even know if it exists in the real world, but that is a thing, and Min was using it, which is a very nice little throwback. But yeah, they're all fighting in the juice bar, and of course, Zach finds out she has the Morpher and takes her to the command center where he educates her about Power Rangers history, showing her the story between Zordon or just showing her Zordon as the mentor and introducing her to Alpha, which is great to see Alpha back, is Alpha 9, which we get a backstory as to what happened with the previous Alpha. According to what they say, Billy tried to bring Zordon back through the Z-Wave, which I think this is a great explanation. The Z-Wave, for those of you guys that do not know, in Power Rangers in Space, Andros was forced to destroy Zordon to purify the Earth of its monsters and a threat towards the world. And some people were purified to the point where they returned human, like Lord Zed and Rita. And then, of course, you had all the other monsters kind of turned to dust. So the Z-Wave apparently carried these particles, or energy particles, and, well, the plan was to bring Zordon back through the Z-Wave. You would think Zordon, being of pure energy, would pretty much amass the entire Z-Wave, but out of a long shot, Billy ends up resurrecting Rita Repulsa through Alpha 8's body. That's how she becomes a robot, apparently. She just completely infuses herself in Alpha's body and becomes a robot. Okay. I don't know if I like that or not, but I did like the Z-Wave explanation, which was pretty cool. That entire time, yes, that was Alpha being overrun by Rita Repulsa. So that's our explanation to her returning. I think that was a great explanation. And learning from this, I guess, Zach is trying to teach Min that being a Power Ranger or a hero doesn't come from revenge, that you have to rise above it all, and pretty much you are going to be you're chosen as a Ranger. You don't become a Ranger, I guess. And the whole discussion is pretty much her being defiant, and she ends up going and fucking everything up. So she is captured by Rita, and she ends up meeting the other Rangers while they're trying to defuse this device that is being drained, or they're draining all these Rangers from different universes. I know I saw some Lost Galaxy Rangers. I saw Abraham, his Gold Ranger from Beast Morphers. There was a lot of Rangers that were apparently taken hostage because Billy called the Pandora Protocol, which essentially is everybody from different sides of the Power Rangers universe, from Turtle Cove to, freaking the Aqua Base and the Mega Ship and stuff like that. All these Rangers, different teams and stuff, are actually being recruited, or there is just this protocol in line for every Ranger team to be prepared for this to happen. And they just dropped everything and ended up getting captured. We don't see this happening, but it is cool to see other Rangers happening throughout the special a little bit. They are just turned into little action figures and suck dry of all their morphing abilities and stuff, just so Rita can go back in time and tell her older self that, hey, kill these Rangers, they're going to be a problem. So yeah, they go to Pandora's palace, Rita's castle on the moon, and I think it's really cool to see how they just made these set pieces look like, in CG, the show is cheesy as all hell, so you expect some of this stuff to be as cheesy looking. So when we finally have this moment where Min realizes what it means to be a Power Ranger, she does exactly what her mother did and took on a blow from Rita's staff and ends up, I guess, infusing herself with the memories of her mother. And she's seeing all this stuff that we saw in the original show that her mom experienced as a Power Ranger because the Morpher got hit. And she is infused with the Saber-Tooth Tiger Yellow Ranger energy, and she is given a moment to say it's Morphin time, and they all morph together and just go to town. Billy ends up stabbing Rita in the chest with his power lance, and oh man, this is a crazy special, seeing all this fighting and stuff. It's just beautifully done, all inside of Rita's palace, which is great. So it's at the point where she ends up making Snizzard grow, and there's a Megazord battle. That's where everything starts looking like a damn 3DO like robot battle, like a video game, because everything is it is worse than the 1995 Power Rangers movie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The CGI for the Megazord and the giant monster battle, it might have looked amazing back in the 90s, and maybe that's the point. The charm of Power Rangers is how cheaply done it is. So I can't really complain that this is the way it looks, other than the fact it's more off-putting. I'm just like, wait a minute, here we are in 2023. We had a better Megazord, like a CGI Megazord in the 2017 movie. Hell, we even have better looking Megazords in the newer iterations of Power Rangers. What is going on here? Like, this is, it's like almost like it was a mix between toys and CGI, because at first I was like, when they called in the Zords and they were doing that classic run with all 5 of them running towards in the desert and stuff like that, they didn't look that bad. They really didn't. And I was like, okay, cool, this might be passable. But once it became the Megazord, I was just like, why? Why did you do this? Like, okay, cool, all right, fine, I can't complain. The Zord fight was pretty amazing. I will say it was interesting. I loved the cockpit view. The cockpit view was amazing. I think it was beautiful. But they do the final blow. They kill Snizzard. They destroy Rita at the end, and the Minotaur, and they rescue everybody. And they all go. Billy, Zach, and Min go to the juice bar and have one of Ernie's specials, and that's where it ends, where they reminisce about Trini and her memories of her mother and talking about all this stuff. So this is a great special. It's a great 30th anniversary special. It's a great way to memorialize, of course, Twee Trang. But by the end of the episode, of course, we have this really nice little memorial, like, homage, where we have Amy Jo Johnson singing Down the Road, and Walter singing it, and you just see some snippets of, Twee and JDF, and they fade out, and they show two pictures of Twee and JDF in there saying, in loving memory, and once a Ranger, always a Ranger. So that was a beautiful special, guys. There are some nitpicky moments as a fan. There are some moments where I'm just kind of like, this is a thing. This is as good as it can get. I think that this is probably the best anniversary special we have ever had, to be honest with you. And it was just amazing seeing all these characters return and seeing this beautiful homage to Rangers that are no longer with us. I really loved it. If I had to give it out of a 5-star rating, I'm going to have to say 4.5 stars. Of course, it's, that other half star is because of my nitpicking for the look of the Zord battle, but it's something you can get over, right? We loved the cheesiness. We loved the absolute beauty of Power Rangers when it was a thing. It was a product of its time, and I'm just very happy as a fan to see something like this exist in the world. But guys, what did you think? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll be back with more videos soon. I'll talk to you guys later.